She doesn't say it out loud, folks, but her body will tell you long before her mouth does. Let's be real, my friend. You've been in the room with a woman who felt different, but you talked yourself out of what you saw. You thought she's just friendly, while she kept returning to your orbit, glancing twice, softening her tone, and finding small reasons to be where you are. Most men miss these signals because they're busy performing, not observing. I'm here to wake you up, not to soothe you. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't always fireworks. Most of the time, it's quiet pressure. It's the way her eyes hold a second too long, the way her voice drops when you lean in, the way she remembers what you said last week, even when you forgot you said it. You don't chase that energy. You read it, respect it, and you lead with calm. This video gives you 7 clear signs she's secretly desiring you, and the Stoic way to respond to each one. No games, no needy moves, just presence. I'll show you how to notice mirroring proximity tone shifts and that nervous spark that looks like doubt, but is actually desire testing your composure. Stay to the end and you'll know what to do, and just as important, when to do nothing at all. Let's get into it. Number 1. The silent signals you're missing. Let's talk about something most men never notice. Folks, the unspoken language women use when attraction starts to build. It's not words. It's movement, rhythm, timing. Subtle, fleeting, easy to miss. But if you're grounded, if you know how to observe, instead of perform, you'll see everything. Meet Daniel, 53, a small business owner from Dallas. He told me once, man, I used to think if she didn't say it, it wasn't there. He'd talk, joke, fill the silence, anything to keep momentum going. But one evening he sat across from a woman named Heather, 48, at a dinner with mutual friends. He noticed something different. When he spoke, she mirrored him, sipping her drink when he did, leaning back when he did, even laughing with the same tempo. It wasn't coincidence, it was chemistry. For the first time, Daniel didn't rush in to fill the space. He just observed. And the more silent he became, the louder her interest got. That, my friend, is the power of the silent signal. Attraction begins before words. The body reveals what the mouth hides. When a woman is drawn to you, her energy synchronizes with yours. She mirrors without knowing it, because the human nervous system naturally aligns with what it desires. It's not manipulation, it's biology. You've seen this before. She touches her hair when you enter the room. Her feet point toward you while she talks to someone else. Her breathing slows when you slow down. These are the signals hidden between seconds, and most men miss them because they're too busy trying to impress instead of interpret. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." The same truth applies here. The greatest remedy for confusion in attraction is patience. When you slow down enough to see what's already there, you stop needing validation. You realize that the body communicates first, the words follow later. Women are intuitive creatures, but they test for emotional safety. They won't say, "I like you" outright, because saying it shifts power too quickly. So they send signals, quiet, playful, uncertain. Not because they're deceptive, but because they're feeling you out. They want to see if your calm is real, or if it cracks under tension. Daniel learned that when he started listening more than talking, the silence that used to feel awkward became powerful. It allowed Heather to step closer to fill the gap with her own curiosity. That's the paradox. When you stop chasing attention, you create space for attraction to grow. So here's what you need to do. The next time you're around a woman, stop performing. Observe her rhythm. Notice her gestures, her breathing, her pacing. Does she lean in when you pause? Does she mirror your posture? Those are signs that her nervous system is tuning into yours. You don't need to jump at them or label them. Just recognize them and let your calm do the work. Remember, my friend, attraction is a silent dance. The music's playing even when no one's speaking. The question is, are you listening, or are you just trying to lead? If this resonates with you, If you've seen these small signs before but didn't realize what they meant, comment below. I see clearly. Stick with me, because the next sign isn't about what she does with her body, it's about what her eyes reveal when she thinks you're not looking. Number 2. Her eyes hold longer than they should. Let's be real, my friend. When a woman desires you, her eyes will give her away long before her words do. You'll catch it in the way she looks at you, not just at you, but into you. It's not the quick, polite glance most people give. It's longer, softer, heavier. It lingers for just a second too long, and then breaks away like she's afraid you noticed. That's the moment most men miss, because they're too distracted trying to say the right thing instead of feeling the tension right in front of them. See, eye contact is ancient. It's primal. It's one of the first forms of communication our species ever used. When someone looks directly into your eyes, the body reacts, pupils dilate, heart rate shifts, dopamine spikes. And when she's attracted, that look doesn't just register visually, it registers emotionally. It's her body saying, "I'm drawn to you," even if her mind is still trying to play it cool. But here's where Stoicism steps in. The untrained man gets lost in that look. He interprets it as permission, or worse, as a need to act. But the Stoic man, he holds the gaze with calm. He doesn't rush to fill the silence. He doesn't smirk, fidget, or try to dominate the moment. He simply stays still, grounded, letting the weight of the moment work for him. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When you meet her eyes, your thoughts create the energy she feels. If your thoughts are needy, she feels it. If your thoughts are grounded, "I see you, but I'm not seeking you," she feels that too. Calm energy is magnetic energy. It's the difference between being impressive and being in control. Now here's what most men misunderstand: eye contact isn't about staring. It's about connection. It's the dance between attention and restraint. If you hold it too long, it becomes aggressive. If you break it too soon, it becomes timid. But when you stay centered, confident yet relaxed, it communicates quiet dominance. That's what pulls her in. Sometimes she'll look away quickly, pretending she wasn't watching. That's her nervous system resetting. Sometimes she'll hold your gaze for a beat too long, testing if you'll flinch. The right move isn't to look away or to grin like you've won. The right move is to stay neutral, composed, aware, unshaken. Because the moment you react too fast, you break the unspoken rhythm. In Stoic terms, that's emotional discipline in practice. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Attraction is no different. The eyes test your composure. They ask silently, "Can you stay calm in tension?" When you can, the energy deepens. When you can't, it fades. So next time you catch that look, that extra second, that quiet electricity, don't overthink it. Don't chase it. Let it land. Breathe. Smile just enough to show comfort, not conquest. Because when you're unbothered by desire, you become desirable. Remember, my friend, her gaze isn't an invitation, it's a mirror. It reflects the man you are in that moment. If your energy is steady, she'll feel safe enough to stay in that silence a little longer. And in that stillness, attraction grows. If you've ever felt that quiet tension in her eyes and wondered if it meant something, it did. Comment below. I stay composed. Stay tuned, because what comes next will show you how her body starts echoing your movements before she even realizes it. Number 3. When she mirrors you without knowing. You've seen it happen before, my friend. You lean back and a few seconds later, she leans back too. You cross your arms, she crosses hers. You take a sip, she does the same. At first it feels like coincidence, but it's not. What you're seeing is something ancient, her subconscious syncing with yours. It's called mirroring. And when a woman does it without realizing, it's one of the clearest signs she's drawn to you on a deeper, instinctive level. Let me give you a real example. Tom, 50, from Chicago, once told me about a dinner date he couldn't quite read. The conversation was light, nothing flirty, just casual talk about work and travel. But halfway through, he noticed something subtle. Every time he moved, she followed. When he shifted his hand from the table to his lap, she did too. When he slowed his breathing, she relaxed. He wasn't trying to lead, but his calm energy set the rhythm, and she responded without thinking. That's not acting, that's biology. Mirroring is how humans build trust. It's our nervous system's way of saying, I feel safe with you. The Stoics would call it alignment without effort. Epictetus once said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Mirroring happens when you've listened more than you've performed, when your presence is so steady that she naturally aligns with your energy. But here's the thing, you can't fake it. You can't force someone to mirror you by posing like a statue or mimicking their body language. That's manipulation, and women sense that instantly. True mirroring happens when you're grounded, when your energy says, I'm comfortable here. I don't need to prove anything. That's what allows her body to relax enough to synchronize with yours. Tom didn't have to turn the moment into a game. He just noticed it and stayed calm. He didn't rush to point it out or make a joke. He simply stayed present, letting the silence breathe. And by the end of the night, she was the one asking questions, laughing more, opening up about things she usually kept private. That's what happens when she feels emotionally safe. Her rhythm matches yours. Think about it like music. When 2 instruments play in harmony, it's not because one forces the other. It's because both are tuned to the same frequency. Your composure is that frequency. Your stillness sets the tone. And when a woman feels that stability, her mind and body respond automatically. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig." Mirroring is exactly that, a reflection of your internal calm. The more centered you are, the more peace you project. And peace, my friend, is magnetic. Now, here's what separates grounded men from reactive ones. The reactive man notices mirroring and tries to push it further. The grounded man notices it and does nothing. Because he understands attraction doesn't grow when you chase it. It grows when you allow it. So the next time you see her moving in rhythm with you, don't rush it, don't comment, don't analyze. Just smile slightly and hold your pace. That's when the real connection deepens, not because you forced it, but because you earned it through presence. If you've ever noticed that quiet alignment, and now you finally understand what it means, drop it in the comments. I lead calmly. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll talk about how she'll start finding reasons to be near you and why that's never an accident. Number 4. The accidental proximity game. You ever notice how she keeps appearing near you, my friend? Not right next to you, just close enough that you can sense her presence. Same coffee shop, same gym section, standing behind you in line again. At first you tell yourself it's random, but it's not. It's a pattern, and patterns reveal intent. She's not chasing you, she's orbiting you. That's the accidental proximity game. And whether she realizes it or not, she's playing it to feel your energy without losing her pride. Here's how it works. When attraction starts to build, a woman won't always act directly. She'll seek closeness physically, emotionally, spatially, to test how it feels to be near you. She's not asking for attention yet. She's testing your energy. The proximity lets her body feel something her words aren't ready to say. This is where most men ruin it. They notice her near them and jump right in, talk too soon, move too fast, try to make something happen. But attraction doesn't need your rush. It needs your restraint. The Stoic man knows this presence is stronger than pursuit. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. When she's near, be that rock, unmoved, grounded, calm. That's the energy she's drawn to. Think of it like gravity. The sun doesn't chase the planets, it holds its place, and they revolve naturally. When you center yourself, you create that same effect. She starts finding reasons to stay in your orbit. It might be to ask a question, grab a drink, or pass by you twice. But behind those small actions is curiosity. She's gathering data. Are you steady? Are you safe? Can she relax around your presence? And here's the secret: your silence teaches her more than your words ever will. You don't need to act interested. You don't need to prove anything. Just maintain your rhythm. If she wants to be close, let her. If she pulls back, don't chase. The moment you start moving toward her energy, she stops feeling pulled. In Stoic terms, this is the discipline of detachment. Epictetus taught wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. The same truth applies here. Real power in attraction comes when you want nothing, not her approval, not her attention, not her reaction. You simply are. The man who needs nothing becomes the man she can't ignore. Now, let's be honest, it's not easy to hold that composure. You'll feel the pull to engage, to do something. But remember, your restraint builds her curiosity. The less you move, the more she wonders what you're thinking. The less you react, the more she feels your calm authority. That's masculine energy in its purest form, calm under pressure, firm under temptation. So when you notice her close pause, let the silence speak. Breathe. Don't force the interaction, own the space. Because when you master that stillness, she'll keep finding reasons to come near, not out of habit, but out of desire. And before we move on, if you want to go deeper into mastering this kind of emotional discipline, join the channel membership. Inside, I break down advanced Stoic psychology, how to read attraction signals, maintain composure under pressure, and embody calm dominance. You'll learn how to turn restraint into magnetism. If this hits something real for you, if you've seen this game play out and finally get what it means, type it below. I move with calm. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we're diving into the power of her voice and how desire hides inside every shift in her tone. Number 5. The shift in her voice. Let's talk about something most men overlook, folks, her voice. Because when a woman starts feeling that pull toward you, her tone changes before she even knows it. The shift is subtle but powerful. Her voice slows down, softens, drops half a note lower. The words might stay the same, but the energy behind them changes. And if you're paying attention, you'll hear everything she's trying not to say. Take Mark, 54, from Seattle. He told me about a co-worker, Lisa, 50, who always kept things formal. For months, their conversations were short, polite, just work talk. But one afternoon, he noticed something. Her tone had changed. The edges were gone. She started asking questions that weren't really about work. How was your weekend? You look more relaxed today. Her voice carried warmth, curiosity, almost a touch of hesitation. She wasn't flirting outright, but her tone was doing it for her. That's the sound of emotional safety, my friend. When attraction grows, the female nervous system activates differently. Her parasympathetic state, the one tied to calm and trust, takes over. Her voice becomes slower, gentler, deeper. It's her body's way of saying, I feel safe enough to be feminine around you. Now here's what separates men who get this from men who don't. The average guy hears that softness and tries to capitalize on it. He flirts harder, moves faster, tries to seal the deal. But the Stoic man, he does the opposite. He listens, he holds space. He recognizes that softness for what it is, a compliment to his composure. Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. That applies to attraction too. The shift in her tone isn't an invitation to rush, it's a sign that your energy is doing the work for you. She's lowering her guard because she senses you won't misuse her vulnerability. That's rare, and that's why it's attractive. Mark understood this after years of mistakes. Instead of leaning into the moment with words, he leaned in with stillness. He stayed calm, looked her in the eye, and spoke slower than usual. That one small adjustment deepened the energy between them instantly, Because attraction isn't built through volume, it's built through presence. You see, when her voice changes, she's subconsciously matching your emotional tone. That's the foundation of polarity. If your voice remains calm, steady, low, she feels grounded. But if you start mirroring her nervousness, the polarity collapses. You become reactive instead of rooted, and the energy fades. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same truth applies here. Stop wondering what to say. Be the energy she's drawn to. The voice of a calm, self-assured man doesn't rise or rush. It carries weight. It commands stillness. And that's exactly what draws her closer. So the next time you notice her voice soften when she talks to you, don't interrupt it. Don't joke it away. Let it hang in the air. Hold eye contact. Breathe slowly. That silence is where the attraction lives. The more still you are, the safer she feels, and the stronger that chemistry becomes. If you've ever heard that quiet shift in a woman's voice and finally understood what it meant, say it below. I hear the truth. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about how the smallest details she remembers about you reveal just how deep that attraction really runs. Number 6. The small things she remembers. Here's something most men completely overlook, my friend. When she starts remembering the small details, it's not just kindness or good manners. It's desire disguised as curiosity. When a woman begins to recall the little things you say, the brand of coffee you like, the story about your dog, the song you mentioned weeks ago, that's not casual memory. That's emotional investment. And it means you've made an impression deeper than logic can explain. See, attraction isn't always physical at first. It's psychological. When she remembers your small habits or words, it's because her mind has started tagging you as important. The human brain only holds on to details that trigger emotion. So when she repeats something you told her in passing, it's not by accident. It's her subconscious saying, "This man matters." Let's be real. Most men miss this completely. They get so focused on chasing grand gestures that they overlook these quiet signals of genuine interest. But Stoicism teaches us to value what's subtle, not what's loud. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Pay attention to what's beneath the surface." In attraction, that means noticing the quiet moments, the ones that seem small but reveal everything. You'll often see this in conversation. She'll reference something you said long ago, not to flatter you, but to reconnect to that emotional state she felt when you said it. She might casually bring up your favorite city, your morning routine, or even the joke you made 2 weeks back. Those details replay in her mind because she's forming attachment through association. The Stoic man understands this, and he doesn't exploit it. He doesn't use her attention as validation. Instead, he receives it with calm gratitude. Because here's the truth. When she remembers you, she's not doing it to please you. She's doing it because she can't help it. You've become part of her internal dialogue. Now, this is where emotional control matters. The reactive man gets excited, leans in, starts matching her energy too quickly. But the grounded man, he lets her lead that rhythm. He stays steady, balanced, quietly, confident. He knows that her remembering is not an invitation to rush. It's a recognition of his composure. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And in this context, bravery is emotional restraint. The freedom comes from knowing you don't need to perform to hold her attention. You've already done it by simply being present and authentic. That's what she's remembering, not your words, but your energy. You see, what she recalls most vividly isn't what you said, it's how she felt when you said it. If you were calm, grounded, and comfortable in silence, that memory becomes powerful. Because emotional safety is intoxicating to a woman. It's rare. And once she feels it, her mind keeps revisiting it, like a song she can't stop replaying. So the next time she brings up a small thing you said or did, don't brush it off. Don't joke it away. Smile. Acknowledge it lightly. Let her see that you're aware but unshaken. Because your steadiness tells her everything she needs to know that you're not impressed by her attention, but you appreciate it. And that balance, my friend, keeps the connection alive without losing control. If you've ever noticed a woman remembering details you thought she'd forgotten and you now understand what it truly means, type it below. I see the signs. Stay tuned, because next we're diving into the tension that every man misreads, the nervous energy that looks like hesitation but is actually attraction in disguise. Number 7. Nervous energy that feels like desire. Let's be honest, my friend, this one confuses a lot of men. You're talking to her and she seems unsettled. She fidgets with her hair, taps her glass, looks away too quickly. You think she's uncomfortable, but hold on. Sometimes that nervous energy isn't rejection, it's attraction just in disguise. It's her body processing emotion faster than her words can keep up. Let me give you a real story. David, 52, from Phoenix, told me about a woman named Rebecca, 47. They'd met through friends, and every time they were together she seemed nervous. She'd laugh too loud, drop things, forget what she was saying mid-sentence. He assumed she wasn't interested, until one evening after a quiet conversation she admitted, "I don't know why, but you make me nervous." That right there was desire wrapped in anxiety. She wasn't scared of him, she was reacting to the tension he created by staying calm. See, when attraction builds, the female nervous system goes into overdrive. It's not just emotion, it's chemistry. Her body produces adrenaline and oxytocin at the same time. That's why she might act flustered, yet still lean closer. It's her brain saying, "I'm excited, but I'm trying to stay in control." The Stoic man understands this and doesn't misread it. He knows the difference between discomfort and intensity. Here's the key: when you stay calm, her nervous energy starts to stabilize. Your groundedness gives her body permission to relax. That's what makes you magnetic, not flashy words, not confidence as performance, but serenity under tension. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." In attraction, that means this: her nervousness isn't the problem, your interpretation of it is. David told me the night he realized this, everything changed. Instead of trying to ease her nerves with jokes or filler talk, he went quiet. He leaned back, smiled slightly, and kept his voice low and steady. Within minutes, Rebecca stopped fidgeting. Her breathing slowed. The energy shifted from nervous to electric. Because calm energy absorbs chaos, it doesn't fight it. This is why emotional composure matters more than any pickup line. When you react to her nervousness with your own, the polarity collapses. But when you hold steady, the polarity expands. You become the anchor. The moment she feels your steadiness, her body says, "I can let go." That's when real attraction begins. Now let's be clear, not all nervous energy equals interest. Sometimes it's just discomfort. But here's how you tell the difference: if she keeps coming closer despite her flustered behavior, if she lingers after the conversation should have ended, if she finds reasons to keep talking, that's not fear, that's desire. Her body's giving away what her ego's still trying to hide. Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Attraction works the same way. The friction between your composure and her excitement polishes the connection. It sharpens it. It's in that tension where chemistry lives. So next time you notice her nervous laugh, her shaky hands, her breath catching mid-sentence, don't rush to fix it. Don't joke it away. Let it be. That's the spark of something real. Stay calm, stay grounded. Let her energy align with yours. If you've ever seen that nervous excitement in her eyes and finally understood what it meant, type it below. I hold steady. Stay tuned, because next we'll explore how a woman's distraction, when her focus starts to drift, can actually be the clearest sign that she can't stop thinking about you. Number 8. The distraction you become. Here's what most men never realize, my friend. When a woman is truly drawn to you, her focus starts to fracture. You become a distraction she can't quite explain. She'll be in a meeting, scrolling her phone, talking to someone else. Yet part of her mind keeps looping back to you. It's not something she chooses, it's something she feels. Attraction rewires attention. When you hold yourself with calm authority, when you stop chasing and simply exist in your own gravity, you create mental tension in her world. She starts thinking about your tone, your stillness, the way you looked at her last time. She might even feel annoyed that she's thinking of you. That's how she knows it's real. This is one of the most subtle but powerful signs of desire, when she seems distracted around you, yet never leaves your orbit. She stumbles over her words, forgets what she was saying, or pauses mid-sentence like her thoughts just drifted. That's not disinterest, that's her emotional brain overriding her logical one. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Desire is exactly that, the mind losing control of what it thought it understood. When you show up calm, she starts to wonder, what makes you different? Why don't you react like other men? Why don't you try harder? Why does your silence make her heart beat louder? These questions linger in her subconscious long after you've left the room. That's how you become a distraction, not through noise, but through presence. The Stoic approach here is simple. Don't seek to feed her thoughts, let them feed themselves. The less you do, the more space her mind fills in. The human brain hates uncertainty, and when your energy stays grounded, it creates that quiet, irresistible mystery. She'll start looking for patterns in you, what you mean, what you want, why you seem so composed. And every time she can't figure you out, attraction deepens. This is why emotional restraint matters. A man who constantly seeks validation breaks the mystery. He gives her certainty, and certainty kills desire. But a man who holds steady in his own value invites curiosity, and curiosity is the birthplace of attraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." That's the kind of peace that draws people in, not loud confidence, not forced charisma, but the rare calm of a man who's not looking for approval. When you become that calm presence, you stand out in a world full of noise. You might notice she starts to check her phone a little less when you're around. Her eyes wander back to you even when she's pretending to look elsewhere. Or she finds excuses to restart conversations to keep your attention just a little longer. That's her mind seeking relief from the very distraction you've become. So don't overthink it. Don't point it out. Just keep doing what most men can't: stay composed. The more she feels you're calm, the more her focus dissolves. That's when the attraction moves from her mind into her body. Remember, my friend, the goal isn't to chase her attention, it's to deserve it by mastering your own. Be so present, so grounded that you naturally become the thought she can't shake. That's when desire becomes inevitable. If you've ever seen that distracted look in her eyes, that mix of curiosity and confusion, and finally understood what it means, say it below. I stay unshaken. Stay tuned, because in the next part, we'll talk about how she'll start to test your emotional frame, and how the man who holds it controls everything that follows. Number 9. The emotional curiosity test. At some point, my friend, every woman who feels drawn to you will test your emotional balance, not to hurt you, but to understand you. It's not about manipulation, it's about curiosity. She wants to know what kind of man you really are when things don't go her way. And this test doesn't come with a warning. It hides behind small words, subtle tone changes, or quiet moments designed to reveal whether your calm is real or an act. Let me tell you about Robert, 56, from Denver. He'd been seeing a woman named Julia, 51, for a few months. Things were easy, fun conversations, shared values, natural attraction. But one night, out of nowhere, she said something sharp. You probably talk to a lot of women like this, don't you? It wasn't a question, it was a challenge. The old Robert would have defended himself, gotten emotional, tried to convince her otherwise. But this time he paused. He smiled and said calmly, "You think so?" Then he changed the subject, and that right there passed the test. See, women use emotional tests to measure your composure. They're not trying to find perfection, they're trying to find peace. When she feels desire, she also feels vulnerability. That's uncomfortable for her. So she pushes with sarcasm, silence, or sudden withdrawal to see if you'll break under pressure. When you don't, she relaxes, because your steadiness tells her, "You're safe with me. I'm not ruled by emotion." This is exactly what the Stoics practiced: emotional sovereignty. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." In attraction, bravery means staying free from emotional chaos. It means being the calm center when she's spinning. A Stoic man doesn't suppress emotion, he masters it. He knows that calmness isn't weakness, it's command. The emotional curiosity test can show up in many forms. Maybe she goes quiet for no reason. Maybe she delays her reply to see if you'll panic. Maybe she teases you about another woman just to watch your reaction. Whatever shape it takes, the rule is the same: do nothing. Don't defend, don't chase, don't explain. Just stay present. Because when you react, you fail. But when you stay centered, you reveal the kind of man who's in control of himself. And that's the kind of man she can't forget. Robert told me later, it wasn't about winning. It was about not losing myself. That's the lesson right there. You're not supposed to control her emotions, only your own. The moment you let her mood dictate your state, you've surrendered your frame. And once you lose that frame, attraction starts to fade. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That quote should be carved into every man's memory. Because when you're grounded in that truth, no test can shake you. Her tone, her silence, her uncertainty, they don't disturb your balance. You remain unbothered. And that stillness, that quiet confidence becomes your greatest weapon. So, when you feel her testing your patience or your pride, don't take it personally. It's not war, it's curiosity. She's wondering, can I trust this man with my emotions? When you answer that question through composure, instead of words, she'll know she's found something rare. A man who leads not with reaction but with peace. If you've ever recognized this test and learned to stay calm instead of collapsing, say it below: I lead with peace. Stay with me, because the next part ties everything together. The final shift where your calm presence doesn't just attract her, it changes her. Number 10. When your calm makes her chase. Let's finish strong, my friend. Because this is the moment everything connects, all the quiet power, the patience, the composure. This is where calm becomes attraction. When you stop chasing, when you stop proving, when you let your presence speak louder than your performance, that's when she starts chasing you. It's not a trick. It's not manipulation. It's nature. Women are drawn to energy that feels rare, energy that stands still when everyone else scrambles for attention. When a man is calm, he becomes mysterious. He radiates control, and that control feels safe. It's safety mixed with tension, and that's what drives her wild. Here's what happens: the calmer you are, the more she feels it. She'll start wondering why she can't read you, why you're not reacting like other men. She'll test your silence, but your composure only deepens the intrigue. Her mind starts circling back to you, not because of what you said, but because of how you made her feel. You've become the calm in her storm. The Stoics understood this perfectly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In attraction, that strength translates into presence. When your focus stays on your center, not her reaction, your energy becomes unshakable. You stop orbiting around her emotions. Instead, she begins to orbit around your calm. This doesn't mean you act cold or detached. Real calm isn't indifference, it's awareness. You feel everything but control what you express. You don't suppress emotion, you master it. That's what makes you magnetic. Because while every other man tries to win her attention, you're not playing the same game. You've already won the moment by owning your peace. Now here's the paradox. Most men never learn. When you chase, she withdraws. When you hold steady, she advances. It's not pride, it's polarity. Your calm energy gives her something she doesn't get from the world's stability. In that steadiness, she feels safe enough to lean in. She begins initiating the texts, the glances, the small touches, because she craves the balance your energy creates. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And that's exactly what calm is: emotional bravery. You're not avoiding connection, you're refusing to lose yourself in it. That's freedom, that's masculine strength. This kind of presence also rewires attraction. She stops chasing excitement and starts chasing serenity, the peace she only feels when she's near you. Your stillness becomes her escape from the noise of her own thoughts. That's not dominance through force, that's influence through balance. And here's the key: never break your calm when she starts to chase. Don't reward it with overexcitement, don't change your pace. Let her come closer on her own terms. Because your stillness is what pulled her in, your consistency is what keeps her there. Remember, my friend, the moment you stop needing to be chosen is the moment you are chosen. Calm isn't the absence of emotion, it's control over it. That control makes you unforgettable. When your energy stays grounded, she feels it long after you're gone. Because calm men are rare, and rarity creates value. So stay still, stay centered, and let her chase what she can't shake: your peace. If you've ever seen this shift happen when your calm turned the dynamic upside down, say it below. I am the calm. So my friend, now you understand what true masculine calm really does. It doesn't just attract women, it transforms the way you move through life. Every sign we talked about, her eyes, her tone, her energy, her silence, they all point to one thing: the power of presence. When you master that, you stop chasing attention and start commanding it. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. If you're ready to take this deeper to build emotional control, stoic discipline, and unshakable confidence, become a channel member today. Inside, you'll get private lessons, advanced breakdowns, and exclusive mindset training I never share publicly. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because every day we're building stronger, calmer, sharper men. Thank you for watching, my friend. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and I'll see you tomorrow.